Hi, everybody. I'm Brittany Lewis with Forbes Breaking News. Joining me now is my Forbes colleague, staff writer Zach Everson. Zach, thank you so much for joining me.
Thanks for having me on again, Brittany.
Big news out of New York City last week. Former President Donald Trump was convicted on all 34 felony counts of falsifying business records. But you had an interesting take for Forbes. You reported this, that Trump's social media business planned for his conviction before he was even charged. So take us to the planning. When did that start and what did that look like?
The earliest that we saw it publicly was back in October 21, I believe, with the merger agreement between Digital World Acquisition Corp., which was the SPAC, that merged with Trump Media and Technology Group, which is the parent company of Truth Social. And they had a couple clauses in there that were very interesting and not typical boilerplate in these merger agreements. They had announced that they had said there were going to be two possible material disruptive events that they identified. One of them would be Trump announcing a run for public office, and the other would be Trump being convicted of a felony. And now the company is dealing with both of those material disruptive events.
So the company is dealing with both of these. I'm not sure about your contract, but in mine, that does not have that type of clause. So you're saying this isn't normal for a business to have?
No, and I'm going to go reread mine. I don't anticipate any felony convictions for myself coming through anytime soon, but I probably should check that out. But yeah. So I spoke with three experts in IPOs and SPACs, and they said, yeah, this is not common language to rule this out for a felony. I mean, obviously the presidential carve-out was something explicitly for Trump, but they said the same thing with the felony conviction, that that is not something you would typically find in these documents.
So what did the contingency plan say if these material disruptive events happened, like Trump is convicted of a felony, like if he announced he was running for office, because both are happening simultaneously?
Right. Well, the phrase they used to quote is the company's principal ownership and position in the the company principals ownership and position in the company shall be structured in such a way as to eliminate the need for restructuring of ownership or changes in position were a material disruptive event to occur. That is the extent. There are no details at all about that. So if you're an investor, I'm not sure what you're supposed to make out of this. What it appears that meant, though, in hindsight, is that they have minimized Trump's role in the company beyond owning about 65% of it. He's not an executive with the company. He's not even on the board of directors. So the experts that I reached out to said that, yeah, his conviction is not really going to disrupt the company.
So can you talk about, since he isn't the CEO or on the board of directors, who is and how does his status as a convicted felon impact them?
Well, if you can't get Donald Trump on the board of directors, what's the next best thing? Donald Trump Jr. He is on the board of directors, as are three former Trump administration officials, Kash Patel, Robert Lighthizer, and Linda McMahon. And Devin Nunes, the former Republican congressman from California, who I believe sued a account over a fictional cow. He is currently the CEO. So you've certainly got some Trump loyalists who are in charge of this company. So where he's not directly, doesn't have those roles directly, no doubt he has some sway over the people who do.
So does his conviction impact this business at all?
It's tough to say so far. It doesn't look like it. Right now it's trading at about $45 a share, which is about halfway between it's a little bit about half of what its high was, but still $20 off of its low since it started trading. So it hasn't really affected the stock price. I did see some people on Twitter. It did go down right away after the conviction, but there were people out there on Twitter saying, support Trump, go ahead, buy some stock, buy one share, help him out. So no idea if those were real people, if they were bots, whatever. But, this stock does seem to be holding pretty steady these days.
Trump, as you noted, owns 65% of Truth Social. Did this news impact his net worth? Because as we know, his shares of Truth Social are a huge component of his fortune.
Yeah, and it's a part of his fortune that we see going up and down pretty regularly compared to the rest of it, which is, real estate holdings that don't fluctuate by the minute. So you're seeing it fluctuate, but no, I mean, overall, he's still worth billions and billions of dollars. What really matters for him is what the value of the stock is going to be worth when he is no longer tied up and can actually sell some of his shares. to get some cash that he might need to pay fines, pay mortgages, things of that nature.
What are you looking out for next when it comes to Truth Social in light of Trump's conviction?
Well, the board of directors can allow him to sell his shares early, which is the thing we've been watching out since day one of this. Does that happen? Obviously, there would be some would not be a slam dunk easy move for them to do because they would probably get a shareholder lawsuit. People complaining that they bought into this company thinking that Donald Trump was connected to it, and that he'd at least be tied up for 5 to 6 months, and then all of a sudden that not being the case. So that might be an issue right there. But that is one of the big things that I'm really looking at to see if that happens at all. It's also interesting to see if there's any movement on the board of directors. I don't expect there to be any at all, but it is Trump, and it is a boardroom, and this is a man who's made a lot of money by saying you're fired in that circumstance.
Is Truth Social, based on your reporting, based on what you're observing, is it more valuable with Trump connected to it or without?
Oh, definitely. I mean, I think that's the reason that people are buying it in the first place. It's essentially a meme stock. It's trading well above what it should be right now. It doesn't make any sense from financial fundamentals, is my understanding from talking to a few experts in this area. It's a meme stock, and the attraction is completely Donald Trump. So if you lose Donald Trump, not only are you going to see a significant amount of shares hitting the open market, which would cause cause prices to go down, but you would certainly see a lot of other people bailing on the stock as well.
Zach Everson, per usual, thanks for your reporting.
Thanks for having me on, Brittany.